See me. Luckily, I hid.
All right, Val. So PR after the year of kind of being out the entire year. I mean, what's this moment like?
I mean, it's so rewarding. Literally a year and 2 days ago, I was on an operating table getting surgery on both knees. ACL surgery on my right leg, and they used the left leg as a graft. So this time last year, I was laying in bed in a ton of pain and just thinking about the long road ahead. So even to be invited to to be given a chance to race, and then to be able to race the way I did, I'm just so proud of myself.
So when we talked a couple days ago, like it was, looking at this as kind of like a preview of the Olympic trials. So what are you taking away from just kind of the way the results panned out?
Well, I think I learned my intuitions were right. In the podcast that we did a couple weeks ago, I said that I could imagine that Courtney Wayman would probably take it out pretty hard, and that Chrissy Gear and I would have to hang on for dear life and then kick. And today, Courtney Wayman and Gabby put a little gap on me. I got kind of boxed in and pushed around a little bit. I'm a year removed from competitive racing, and so hopefully next time I can put my elbows out and defend a little better. But then I had to put in a pretty big surge there for the last lap to try to get the win. And Courtney Wayman looked like she was going to run away from me, but I had a little extra juice there at the end to kind of outlean her at the line. So if this is any indicator for the trials, I think it's definitely something that you'd want to tune in to see.
What was the rehab process like? When did you get back to running? What were the hardest parts about the rehab?
The first month was probably the hardest. I could barely walk, and I was super immobile for that time. And then I just did PT every day, and I never exceeded the limits. The surgeon has a very strict schedule, like 4 weeks post-op, stationary bike, 16 weeks post-op, you can get on the Ultra G and start to run a little bit. And so I knew I was gonna have 4 months. I knew that it was gonna take me 4 months, and I just had to be patient. But I was a little bit ahead of the curve there, and so I was given the green light to kind of start pushing a little sooner, which was great. But I didn't really start doing track workouts until January of this year, and so I've kind of had to just be patient and keep this in mind and never go too hard, but always kind of ride the line.
There's been an epidemic of American steeplechase injuries in the water pit, between you, Hillary Bohr, Emma Coburn, and Courtney Frerichs. Why do you think that is? Is there a unifying factor?
Well, I'm no scientist, so I really don't know. I've heard people talk about maybe the plates in the shoes are putting people in slightly different positions. So when they're landing, maybe the plates have something to do with it. I know sometimes if you're taking too many anti-inflammatories, it can weaken tendons and ligaments, and they're more prone to rupture. So if people are taking hardcore anti-inflammatories, they're always at risk. And a lot of pro athletes do have to take those in order to stay healthy. But there's probably a lot of different factors that go into it. Emma broke her ankle, which is awful, but broken bones heal a little bit faster than we're having to replace tendons and ligaments and things like that. But yeah, I'm not sure what the unifying factor is, but I definitely think it's probably worth a study.
How does it feel going into the trials? You just beat most of the top women you're going to be facing in that race.
Well, the job's not done yet, right? I got to go do it, 2 more times basically. So I think it's going to be harder than ever. I had the benefit of being under the radar here for a long time, but now obviously there's probably a target on my back. I'm going to be the one to beat. But I think that if people are going to want to beat me, they're going to have to run the kick out of me. So I think that it's going to be a killer race at the trials, and may the best woman win.
I guess the time prediction is something that you've been kind of pretty spot on now. What is it going to take to make the team? After today's race, does your prediction for that change?
I haven't had an opportunity to look at the finishing list, so I don't really know. I mean, I know that Wayman was right on me.
I think it was 3 under 920, right? Yeah.
Well, then it's going to be even more crazy. It's going to be more hectic. I was thinking that maybe a woman could win with a 9:15, but you just proved that it's going to take faster than a 9:15 to win. So I think we're going to see a classic Emma Coburn, Courtney Frerichs type of race where you're going to have to run 9:09 to win, and that you're probably going to have to run sub 9:15 to make the team. And so
just new characters, though.
New characters, and we're all going to get better. We have 3 weeks, right? I mean, I look at myself 2 weeks ago, I ran 9:27. 2 weeks later ran 9:14 or whatever. And so I think it's going to be hardcore this year.